Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And then my name is Razil Fauzan. Today I would like to explain to you about my final assignment in History of English Literature. And then please pay attention to my presentation today. Well, today I would like to discuss about first what did I learn from this class, and then the second one is what was the lesson learned I get from this class, and then the third one is what is the next plan after joining this class. Okay, I will explain you one by one about those questions, and then I hope you understand what I will explain in the next slide. Now, what did you learn from this class? Well, firstly, based on this subject, of course, we learn about the history of English literature and also the English literature itself. It is believed that telling us the stories people of a certain time of historical period, the literature of a region or country reflects on its past as well as serves as a social record. And then this material offer a brief guide to English literature history, from exploring its significant ages to offering a general historical period timeline. Well, based on this question, what did I learn from these classes? First, we not only learn about the English literature itself, but we learn several points about the era or period or ages in the some what is it in the some period of when the literature is growth. Well, the first I would like to explain to you what I get from late Victorian. In the late Victorian era, I learned a few material that make me get a new knowledge. In the in the late Victorian period, many writers who are often researched under Edwardian, Georgian, or even modern literature started their writing careers. So the realist style was retained by most of novelists from this period. Also, the styles of adventure or fantasy and mystery also came into their own during in the 1880s. A common genre continued to be social satire. The era is widely referred to as a time of primary traditional moral value, and the Victorians viewed their environment as evolving rapidly. Religious fight splintered into views that were evangelical and also aesthetic. Well, the second one is Edwardian. In this Edwardian period of literature, I know that is time during which the British class structure was very rigid, was the Edwardian era. And the interesting point that we can learn from this period is when the Edwardian era higher master course is an opportunity to learn and refine the techniques for making elegant Edwardian and vivacious Victorian hairstyle for experienced hair and makeup artists. Well, we move to the next one about what I learned from the other era. Of course, modernism. The modernists age occupied the years from shortly after the beginning of the 20th century to around in the 1965. In simple terms, sudden and abrupt breaks from the conventional ways of seeing and dealing with the world makes the time. The modernist doesn't think much about nature, being, or the underlying system of history as opposite to the romantic world view. But in this era, also through a series of culture shock, modernism was a set in a motion. In the modernism, we also learned that modernism shows a remarkable good sense of continuity and similarity across style and location as a literary period go. And then the 20th century, as I learned from so many sources I've been read and practicing to apply in our previous video that we made, the 20th century was like no time before. In the literature of the 20th century, this development took a special system. Literature in the 20th century is a diverse area involving a range of genres. There are common elements that have forever changed literature. Literature used to be arranged in a linear sequential order until the 20th century. And then this is the last one. What did I learn from this class? 21st century period. In the 21st century period, uh, the fun fact, actually this is the most material I loved because it's simple to imagine that literary literature once had a golden age, but the history of publishing tells us differently. Rarely, if ever, has it been easy to encourage literary literature. Our current climate, but also some opportunities, poses specific challenge of this era. Well, now we move to the other discussion. What was the lesson learned of this class? Well, there are many lessons or message and knowledge that we can take after studying this history of English literature. It is not only about the various type of period that underlie the emergence of several unique change in each literature, but also we study the condition of the situation in this era. As if we taken to see the past because we study some material in it, we also see how the behavior of people that in that time, in the sense that we are indirectly studying the social aspect of several period, which of course I discussed above. So from here we can also take some lessons that studying stories of English literature allow people today to know human mistakes in the past or now, the key to the success of their producers. Now, we next what was I get about the lesson learned of this class. First, history and literature are essential studies of humanities because they interpret for us the human experience. Uh, the study of English literature also uh, allow us to develop new ideas and ethical standpoint and can help them to describe English society. Studying history of English literature make us an rising a opening experience and get new point of view. Well, the next one is history of English literature give us a new way of thinking about the world. For example, Jane Austen presents a different writing in her era because she is interested in the moral, social, and psychological behavior of the characters. And then next, we can find the occurrence of philosophical movement when studying English literature. In addition to presenting the different viewpoints of the literary scholars, we can find English literature is a form of English art. It is capable of bringing about different emotion and general sense of spiritual well-being. And then when we deep into the rich variety of novels, poems, and plays which constitute in the story of English literature or in English literature itself, it is possible to understand how contemporary Western culture have developed into what it is today. And then, yeah, we are reading works which have a task for generation of or centuries, and they have lasted because they are good. Well, we don't need to visit a country if we want to learn their culture. London, for example, is all the more interesting city when behind what we see today. We see the London now to Dickens, Boswell's, and Johnson or Shakespeare itself. It will save time, money, and effort by reading literary works than to visit the country. Studying history helps you to develop an appreciation for your roots and what came before you, along with that sacrifices were made to get there. Studying history helps you to understand the characters, like for example the human being over the times, and in contrast you can see how the decisions play out over periods of that time. Studying history of English literature help you to understand the history and evolution of the ideas. In this way, it helps you to understand the practical consequences for a particular ideologies and worldview and ways of thinking about life, politics, and the world. Well, yeah. What is the my plan after joining this class? My plans and hope after studying the history of English literature and several periods that I've been learned of the emergence of various characters related to literary works are that I will be able to implement what I have learned as a theoretical basis for the lectures I'm taking. In the studying literary history, I hope that this lesson can be formed as a media for sharing and creating literary works into other form. For example, poetry paraphrased into short story, dramas, rhymes, and essay and letters. I also have the hope that in the future, by studying in history, it adds to the linguistic value of English language in a deeper way, because by studying history of English literature, we know the ins and outs of where English was first used in literature. The plan is also that the material that I got can be a material for discussion, and my choices of literary work from which period would be suitable and applicable for my thesis research. Well, uh, those all of my presentation today, studying what I learned from this class, and then what the lesson learned from this class I got, and then the third one is what is my next plan after joining this class. That's my explanation for this presentation. I hope you enjoy my video, and I hope you understand about what I said earlier. And then I am sorry if is there any mistakes and then or misspelling. I hope you forgive me, and thank you so much for watching my video. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and goodbye.